Okay, our objective today is to start chapter 6, which is about ratios and proportions. So I will tell you more about that once we get to it. Let's start with our warm-ups and then going over homework here. Okay, so here's the warm-up that I made up this morning. So Sean, can you tell us what you got for number 1? Two and what? Say that again. Nope. You might just not be able to read your writing. Annalise, what'd you get? Good, 2.5 or 5/2. So Annalise, what should the number line look like? So what goes above 2.5? You okay? Good, filled in circle, going to the right. Okay, Emma H, number 2, what'd you get for your answer? Good. What does the number line look like? Good job. Charles, number 3. Awesome. What does the number line look like? Great job. Okay, questions on those 3. Mary. You had a closer, but it should be greater than. Did you not have greater than or equal to for your answer? Okay, because the last step, Mary, you have to multiply or divide by a negative. When you multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality sign flips. Does that help you? Okay. Anyone else? Little questions on this warm-up? Okay, let's go over the second warm-up. Okay, second warm-up was in the new packet. Matt, you okay? That was a big yawn. Okay, number 1, Annalise. You mean the answer? Yeah. X is less than 7/12. Okay, number 1, Alyssa, what'd you get for the other warm-up? Okay. Doug, number 1. Good, $9.95 per balloon. Okay, Emma M, 2A, what did you get? Do I need to give you reviews? Okay, sorry, hold on 1 second, Emma. Thanks for coming down. Here's an extra copy of the review we did today, and here's another review. Different one, okay? And I can talk to you more about that in class. You're welcome. Okay, sorry, Emma, one more time. Good, K equals 6. Adam, the letter B. Good, Y equals 2. Letter C, Justin. Good job. B is less than -14. Okay, the number 3, Matt, part A for number 3. Good job. Letter B, Charles. Good, 1/2. Letter C. I don't know why I just wrote that. Sorry, it's 1/2. Mary, letter C. Good, 2/3. Okay, I don't know why this is here, ignore that. Okay, questions on any part of that warm-up? Mary. Yeah, I'm guessing you just forgot. Did you forget that this was a negative? Are you sure? Is that what you forgot? Okay, because then when you and then you change the 7 to common denominator, okay, of 28/4, and then when you subtract that from the other side, you end up with -49/4. Is that you okay? Okay, so that side's negative, so when you multiply that, you end up with a negative answer. Okay. Okay. Adam? C. You got 3 and a 7th? Is that what you said? Okay. Not sure how you got that. Did you change 7 to have a common denominator? No, don't do that. That's why. Don't, because you're gonna you can do it that way, but you're gonna be much more likely to make a mistake. I would change this to be 28/4, okay, and then subtract 28/4 from both sides. Do you know how to do it this way, Adam, or do you want me to keep going? You sure? Okay. Anyone else on that warm up? Emma? 3B. Okay. What did you get? Okay. All you need to do is take your calculator, type in 94 divided by 188, and hit math enter. And it does it for you. Or, Emma, if you don't want to do it that way, 94 goes into both 94 and 188. Or just keep dividing the numbers by 2 until it's completely simple. You divided something wrong. You're correct. 47, 2 does not go into 47, but you did something wrong. So use one of those options I gave you to simplify fractions. My suggestion is the calculator is probably the easiest. Okay, anyone else? Warm-up questions before we go over homework, and then clean out your binder. Okay, let's go over homework. Are you guys still tired? Some of you guys still look tired. Okay, 5.6 is the first one here. I'm going to read over 5.6, and then I'll ask you guys for 5.7. Okay, so 5.6, number 13. I'll wait till you guys are all there. Mary? I have them up there. I'm just going to read them. The next one I'm going to ask you guys for. Okay, 13, you should get 54. Number 14, 35. Number 15, 12 and a half or 25 over 2. Number 16, negative 36. 17, negative 32. 18 is 22. Number 22 is negative 1/6. 23 is 1 2/3. Did anyone leave it as an improper fraction? Doug, what'd you get? No, that's not simplified. Matt? Good, 5/3. So you're right, just make sure it's completely simplified. 24 is 1/10. 25A should be 1 9/16. Anyone have that as an improper fraction, Mary? Good, 25 over 16. And that's inches squared because you're finding area. Letter B is 3/8 x. Letter C is kind of a fun problem. Yes, thank you. Inches squared, forgot about that. Letter C is 1/2 inch. That's kind of an interesting problem. And then 26 is 80 days. Okay, questions. I know some of you guys are still checking. Mary? Okay, 15. Did you change 6 to have a common denominator, which is 24 over 4? Okay, I would change 6 first to be 24 over 4, then add 1/4 to it. So you get 25 over 4. Okay, hold on. So let me do it your way. Hold on. Can I move this or anyone still checking? Okay. So Mary, I mean, you can do it that way, Mary. You're kind of doing more steps. So you have 6 1/4 equals 1/2 x, correct? Okay. So what did you convert 6 1/4 to? What's 6 times 4? Okay. You got it? Okay. And that was for number 15. So from there, Mary, you'll get 12 and a half or 25 over 2. Doug? 25C. You need to add the areas up that we got from parts A and B. So, which would look like 3/8 x. That was the area for part B, plus the area from part A, which is 1 9/16. And set it equal to 1 3/4. Because they tell you at the beginning of the problem, Doug, maybe you missed that. They told you on 25 that the area of the whole figure is 1 3/4 inches. So all you do from there is solve for x, because you have to find what this x is. You have to solve for x. So you would convert this. Do you know what I mean? Just like we did all day yesterday, convert this to an improper fraction, solve for x. You okay? Okay. Alyssa? 23 is 1 2/3. Okay, or 5/3. Adam? 24. Okay. So did you change 3/7 first to be 9/21? Okay. Bri, are you done with the green part of your test? Did you put that on my desk? Put that on my desk, please. So 8/21 equals -10/21x, and then 3/7 you change to 9/21 to find a common denominator? Are you with me or no? Okay. Okay. So you're clear on how to do this problem now. Okay. Positive. Okay. Annalise?
I just have a question about do you think it'd be easier for us to change the denominator first, like before we start solving it?
Yeah, that's what we always do. We always change it first. But you don't have to change, they don't all have to have common denominators, only the fractions that you're adding or subtracting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we always, if you're able to, do it first. Sean? Yes. Yes. You shouldn't be multiplying. Are you sure that you multiplied the areas together? Or do you think maybe you multiplied the dimensions they had in the figure? Okay. If you got the right answer, Sean, there's no way that you multiplied what I wrote up here. So I'm assuming that you multiplied the dimensions again and then added them together.
Oh, yeah, I did that. Then it would go 5/8 times 2.5 times 3/8.
Oh, I don't know how you got the right answer because that's not right. The whole thing, Sean, is you have to add the areas together in that big figure, set them equal to the total area because we don't know what x is, which is one of the dimensions. So you can't multiply everything together.
Oh.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else on 5/6? Okay, let's go to 5/7. Okay, 5/7, Mary, number 2. Good, -3/8. Charles, number 4. Good, 13/28. Zach, number 6. Good, 13/28. Number 8, Sean. Good, 11/30. Annalise, number 10. Good. Number 12, Doug. Good, -2.1. Emma H, number 14. Say that again. Yes. And if you left it as a decimal, 2.4. I was thinking, I left mine all as decimals because the problems were as decimals, so I left them. That you can convert them. Donatus, number 16. No. Alyssa? Good, -0.7. Number 18, Emma M. Good, 2. Adam, number 20. Good, x is greater than -4/5. 22, Mary. Good. X is greater than -11/24. 24, Matt. Good job. Justin, 25. Awesome. 26, Doug. Just $200. Okay. Questions? Annalise. No, don't change it to an equal sign. I was going to say, you cannot ever change an inequality sign to an equal sign. Okay, so you should first find common denominators, which is 30. So did you change 1/5, so I can't read my writing, to be 6/30? greater than or equal to, change 1/6 to be 5 over 30. And then that was a minus 2/3 x. Did you do that first? Okay, and then subtract 5 over 30 from both sides. So we get 1 over 30 greater than or equal to negative 2/3. And then multiply both sides. Are you okay, Annalise?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Are you okay? Go ahead and fix yours to make sure, and if not, I'll come back to this. Sean? We're not, yeah, I didn't finish it.
Oh.
Yeah. Your answer should be x is greater than or equal to negative 1/20. Did you get that?
Oh, I see.
Let me keep doing it. So the next thing you would do is write the x on the other side. So negative 2/3 x less than or equal to 1 over 30. So just flip it around so x is on the left. Then multiply both sides by 3 over negative 2. You with me? So the multiplicative inverse cancels that. So you have to flip the sign because you multiplied both sides by a negative. So x is greater than or equal to, we can cross simplify. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 30 10 times. So you end up with 1 over negative 20. Sure you're okay? Okay. Yeah, that happens. Emma? Yep. Okay, number 6. Emma, what common denominator did you use before I start this? Okay, so what did you change 6/11ths to? Okay, you should change that to 24 over 44. Okay, which is equal to the 1/4 is going to be 11 over 44 plus 7/11ths x. So then from there, subtract 11/44 from both sides. We get 13 over 44 is equal to 7 over 11x. Still with me? And then I would rewrite it to the x's on the left. And then to get rid of 7/11ths, multiply both sides by 11 over 7. Cancels. Oh, okay. Let's just move that out of there then. Hey, hold on. Okay, just ignore that. Okay, so you first multiply both sides by 11. Okay, so this cancels. Did you cross simplify? 11 goes into this once, it goes into this 4 times. Okay, so we have 7x, which is equal to 13 over 4. Okay, and then the next step, how do you get rid of your 7? Good, divide. Now this part's a little tricky. So keep, change, flip, since you did it that way. So 13 over 4 divided by 7 is the same thing as multiplying it by 1/7. So that's how you get 13 over 28. That's tricky. Sometimes doing it this way is a little tricky, so just be careful if it's dividing a fraction and you keep, change, flip. Okay, Alyssa. 14, 2.4. Matt. Okay, let me ask you this. Was your initial equation 0.866x plus 187.22 equals $360.42? Okay, tell me what you have. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's why. Should be equal to that if you're going to do it that way. Because your exchange has to be a total of $360.42. So your total has to be the 360. You can still set it up the way you told me, but it has to be $360.42 minus 187.22 equals 0.866x. That's your conversion factor. Okay, so if you do it that way, you'll get exactly $200. Sure? Okay, Doug? Okay, I just went over it. Do you need me to go over it again? Okay, did you have one of the equations I just read? Okay, after you subtract, you should get $173.20. Okay, which is equal to 0.866x. Mary? I don't know what you did wrong. Okay. Okay, Mary, what did you use for your common denominator? Okay, so did you change 2/3 to be 24/36? Yes? Okay, what'd you do next? Okay, so then what'd you get? Okay, and then did you rewrite it to put x on the left or no? Okay, so what'd you do next? No. That's why. You got to get x by itself. That's why. And that's the other reason, Mary, that I would flip it around and I would write x on the left, the other number on the right. I would always put x on the left so you don't get confused. Okay? Okay. Alyssa. Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Okay. I am going to wait to clean out binders until tomorrow because of time. So don't worry about cleaning out binders. We will do that as part of the warm-up tomorrow. I want everyone go to your chapter 6 note packet, and we'll do that tomorrow. Just open up to the first section. So real quick overview, and I'll tell you some more about this tomorrow, okay? Chapter 6's title is our ratio, proportion, and probability. So we will learn about all three of those in this chapter. This is the point, if you guys haven't already learned, have you guys learned about conversion rates and factors yet in elementary school? Okay. That's not in this book, but I'll add it in here. You okay, Jeremy? Okay, at some point. But everything else in this chapter, the ratios, proportions, and probability. Probability, I think you guys will probably like the most. It's at the end of the chapter, and I supplement and add in some harder probability problems just because it's interesting. And you will see it next year on the Keystone exam. So it's good for me to show you some of the harder things. Today's lesson just starts off with basic, what's a ratio, what's a unit rate, okay? So, what? No. We did unit rates, but not ratios. You'll see, it's different today. Unit rates we learned is, what is a unit rate? Do you remember that from chapter 1? Good, something over 1. It compares two quantities, it's something over 1. So here we go with ratio, which we've talked about a little bit. This lesson is just an introduction to the chapter. Like I said, it's nothing completely new. So a ratio uses division to compare two quantities. So we're still using division, we're comparing things. Miles per hour, turtles per day, right? If you're collecting turtles. I'm just kidding. Maybe you guys got a dog for Christmas, so dogs per year, okay? You're comparing two quantities. We could get into some crazy things you want to compare, right? Like turtles, if you want to collect them. So, there you go. Just remember that a ratio, we're always comparing things. Okay, an equivalent ratio, I'm sure you're going to be really surprised about this. An equivalent ratio are ratios that have the same value. Isn't that shocking? We've taught that your book loves you putting the word equivalent in front of everything. I don't know why. So equivalent, anytime ratios are when you reduce them, when they're the same value. Sean. Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah, you could have 3, you could have 5, yeah. And don't worry about the word proportion. We're going to talk about that in 2 sections from now. So you can cross that off. So basically, ratio compares two quantities. A unit rate, which we've already discussed, has a 1 in the denominator. Okay, so on the next page in your notes, talks about writing ratios. So do you guys remember there's 3 ways to write a ratio? Does anyone remember one way to write a ratio? Annalise? Awesome. First number, colon, then the next number. Alyssa? Good. As a fraction? Awesome. Doug? Nope. That's probability. Adam? Close. I mean, that's kind of like the fraction. Still, Mary? Good. The word 2. So A to B, A colon B, A over B as a fraction. In the box, I want you to write down at the top just the 3 ways to write a ratio. And when you eventually have a quiz on this chapter, you do not have to write it 3 ways every single time. You can pick what way you prefer to write a ratio. You'll see them all different ways. So you pick whatever you're more comfortable with. All that I ask is that you make sure it is completely simplified, which don't forget, you guys have that calculator option of doing like 4 divided by 6, math, enter, enter. Everyone remember that? Okay. That's helpful when you are simplifying. Now, yes, you can use mental math on something like that. And if they're bigger numbers, feel free to use your calculator. Okay, and then the last part here, I want you to jot down, each ratio is read as the ratio of A to B, and then you can just write down what I circled. Make sure it's in simplest form. Each ratio is read as A to B. Please make sure you write it in simplest form. Anyone feel like reading example 1 for us? We're going to actually set up some ratios. Matt, nice and loud. Awesome. Okay, so letter A. It says the number of hits to the number of misses. So we're going to write down number of hits over number of misses. Who can fill in the numbers for us? We're going to write it as a fraction first. So we're comparing number of hits to number of misses. Emma H. Good job. 44 over 16 relates to the hits and the misses. What is 44 over 16 simplified? Doug? Good. 11 over 4. What's another way to write a ratio? Adam? Good. Sean, what's another way to write a ratio? Awesome. So there's our simplified ratio. We're comparing 2 quantities. It has to be completely simplified. This is pretty easy, but you got to make sure it's simplified. Okay, letter B, the number of hits to the number of shots. So number of hits, number of shots. So first thing, what are the numbers, Mary, that we're first filling in? Okay, which one goes where? Good, 44 and 60. Mary, where'd you get the 60 from? Great job. So completely simplified. Melissa? Good, 11 over 15. So that's one way to write a ratio. Annalise, what's another way? Good. Justin, what's another way? Awesome. Any questions on that? Doug, question? It tells you number of hits to the number of shots. Okay, it's comparing 2 quantities, so it's going to tell you the order. Charles? I know this is easy, isn't it? Sorry, boring math day. Well, it doesn't really get too much harder than this. Let me show you. The hardest thing here is setting up a proportion, which I'll show you. I know this is so difficult. Sean? Whatever comes first goes first. That's interesting. They didn't tell you guys that. It'll always tell you. Okay, except for in a problem like this. So let's look at this one. Example 2, write all the ratios in words and with values that can be made using the figure. So in example like 2, this is like an open-ended one. You can choose to compare whatever things you want to compare in whatever order you want to compare them. So can someone give us 2 things that we can compare in example 2? Justin, what's 2 things? White to diamond. Okay, so let's do white to diamond. Okay, who can fill that in for us? If we're doing white to diamond, what are the initial numbers that we're plugging in, Emma H? Good, 4 and 6. There are 4 white ones, there are 6 diamonds. So completely simplified, Zach, 4 over 6 is? Good, 2 over 3. You could also write it as 2:3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, someone give us one more ratio we could set up. Annalise, what's one more? Good, diamond to total. And so again, remember, these ones are open-ended, so Sean and anyone else that asked, these ones, the order doesn't matter. You pick, just please don't do like diamond to diamond. Okay, compare 2 different things. Do not compare the same thing. So diamond to total, what are we filling in here? Mary, what are we filling in? Good job. 6 to 10. There's a total of 10. There are 6 diamonds. Charles, 6/10 completely simplified is? Good, 3/5, which we could also write 3:5 and then 3 with the words 2, 5. So we're just doing those 2. There are a bunch you can compare here. Annalise? There could be. I'm not sure what you're asking. If it said to write all of them, you have to write all of them. I wouldn't add anything in if the test was already copied. Whatever's there, just you would have to write all of them. So we could do more here, like white to total. Okay, diamond. Well, we did diamond to white. White to total. There's not a ton. I wouldn't want you to flip them around either. You can just do it with white to diamond is the same thing as diamond to white. You don't have to. We wouldn't have to write both of them if that's what you're asking. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's go to, I'm going to skip here. Let's go to example 4. Some of these are, a lot of these are easy. Okay, example 4. At a car wash fundraiser, there are 18 6th grade students and 14 7th grade students who work the first shift. Letter A says, write the ratio of 6th grade students to 7th grade students. All right, this is easy. So what's the ratio of 6th grade to 7th grade? Before you simplify. Donatus, before you simplify. Good, 18 to 14, so completely simplified. What's our ratio? Mary? Good, 9/7. And again, you can write it with the word 2 or with a colon or as a fraction. Okay. Zach, letter B. What's the ratio of 6th grade students to all students? Good job. And Emma M, completely simplified? You can use that. Yeah. And don't forget, guys, you can do 18 divided by 32, math, fraction. Do it mentally because 2 goes into each of them. Either way, you get 9/16. You okay? Easy, right? Still? Okay, let's go to example 5. Let's do the first 2 examples here. These ones, all they want us to do is to simplify them. So if we have 4 yards over 16 inches, they just want us to simplify. So 4 over 16 reduces to, Alyssa? Good, 1/4. So we'd have 1 yard for 4 inches. So this is something that you might see on, if you're making a model, if you're scaling something up or down, all they want us to do here is to simplify it. Annalise? It's probably not correct. It's already written as a ratio. They should have just put for the directions, simplify each ratio. Charles? Because, I don't know, the book did that. I left it blank in my note packet. It's already simplified, so you can't do anything. That will not happen on a test. The third one. Okay, what about 32 over 4,000? Completely simplified, Adam. Good. 1 kilometers over 125 meters. Okay, now again, don't forget, you can use your calculator. If you type in 32 divided by 4,000, hit math, enter, it reduces it for you. Donatus. You are not. They just want us to simplify. You can convert them, but they just want us to simplify. What'd you say, Briar? No, it's just wrong. No, we're not supposed to convert, Donatus. Eventually, we're going to do that. They're just weird problems, Donatus. They just want us to simplify. Okay, let's go to example 6. Okay, example 6. So if you host a party for 12 people and the total cost of the party is $66, what is the cost per person? How would you set this up? What's the cost per person? Briar, how do we set this up? Good. Cost per person. Adam, what is it? Wrong way. $5.50 over 1 person. Okay. What is this called? Good, unit rates. So you're comparing 2 quantities. There's a 1 in the denominator. Okay, so unit rate. So correct. Yeah, it's money. And a lot of times when you do have unit rates, you will have a decimal in the numerator because it's a unit rate and there's a 1 on the bottom. But you're right, you should not have decimals with fractions. But it's $5.50 per person, which you could also write 2 other ways as a ratio. Annalise? Well, the total cost is $66. So you're just figuring out how much each person would have to pay to enter the party. The total cost for food and drinks is $66. You're just finding the cost per person with everything mushed together. Donatus? Why? Why? Oh, Donatus. You're going to have a party to make a profit. You should just have a party to have fun. Well, like if they're doing something for a school, think about if a school's planning a dance. No, the money typically just covers the food and beverages. It just says, what's the cost per person? You're right. Okay, we're done with that, Donatus. Okay, example 7. Let's do one more example for now. Okay, a jet flies 540 miles per hour. Write its rate in miles per minute. So let's first set up the rate. Sean, initially, how do we write this as a ratio?
540 miles over 60 minutes.
Okay, so 1 hour first. Okay, then we need to convert it to be 60 minutes, right? So 540 miles, which we're just converting hours to minutes. Everyone with us? So completely simplified, what is the miles per minute? Doug? No. Emma H? Good. 9 miles for every 1 minute. What kind of rate is this? Unit rate. Pretty easy. Questions? Sean? A unit rate always has a 1 in the denominator. It has to be completely simplified, but it always has a 1 in the denominator. Okay? All right, homework is not going to take you very long, but it's in your homework packet, practice 6.1. I want you to do all of them except for 23. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? No, you can do 23. Never mind. Never mind. You can do 23. Ignore me. What'd you say? Yeah. Oh, this might be the hardest homework you've ever had all year. Being sarcastic. So, guys, there's a back to 6.1. So please make sure you do 1 to 25. Okay, that's it. We can get packed up. Good job today.